Previously in the All Drivers Career Mode.
We spun it, and we are driving as Max Verstappen for this race. And see who it is. It's Lewis Hamilton. It's a championship leader. It's in the wall. He's made a critical error, or just a glitch or whatever. 16.8, but unfortunately, not enough to get pole position. Lights out, and away we go. And unfortunately, it's Rosberg has got the better start from P2. He tried to squeeze into the wall there, but he got in front of us. But we're going to hold it around the outside. Did he spin? He hit my left rear, and he spun himself into the wall. But now, at the end of lap 9, Vettel's gone into the pits. So that's a definite two-stop strategy for him. But that plan has gone completely to shit there. As he spin, he hit the left rear on the arm cove. But come the final lap of the race, they have closed the gate. We're coming across the line. We've won the Monaco Grand Prix. So I'm now 4th place in standings. Vettel's actually ahead of Rosberg. So that's... What is going on, guys? Pomson87 here, and I'm here with the driver decision wheel for the 7th round of the All Drivers Career Championship. We're at the Canadian Grand Prix for this video, and as you can see, we're with the wheel here. I've got all 6 drivers used previously off the wheel, so we're going to click now to decide who we're going to be for the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm wanting like a Mercedes powered car for this round. A lot of straight line speeds in Canada, so even like get away with someone like a Force India or Williams. Actually, Williams would be good. I haven't used a Williams or a Force India yet, actually. So let's find out who we're going to be driving, guys, for the Canadian Grand Prix. Talk of the devil, it's Felipe Massa in a Williams. So it should be a good round. I might have a real chance to win this Grand Prix, hopefully, and follow up the success that was the Monaco Grand Prix. As I still need to claw back ground of the championship, but I can definitely try to do it this round. Now let's go to the race.
Alright, we're getting straight into it. We're in the garage. The start of qualifying 1, there's nothing happening in practice. In our Williams, we're just going to take a look at the setup now. It's a very aggressive setup we've got going on today, as we want to get good performance and hopefully maximise the result for this race. I was very pleased with the choice of car. Canada is a good track of mine, it's one that I enjoy quite a bit. And Williams is a quick car, definitely a car that can challenge the Mercedes around here, I reckon, with its long straights and stuff like that. Definitely a place I can get a good result. So the end of Q1 there, we set a time on the prime tyres, which easily got us through to Q2. But we're going to look down the bottom of the leaderboard. And there's a few surprises. Daniel Ricciardo has been knocked out, and Sebastian Vettel only just scraping through. That was very, very lucky for Vettel, but very unfortunate for Daniel Ricciardo. Also worth noting the two Manners out-qualified, Maldonado and Ericsson. Not a surprise Maldonado's down there. I don't think he's actually scored a single point in the championship yet. But in QT, as you can see, it's raining. We're going to go out on the option tyres as they were fitted to the car, and even the AI car can't control it, so you can quite clearly see it is not time for option tyres. We're going to try and start the run, and we just completely understeer off other final chicane and get a lap time validated. So we're going to go back to the garage and put on a set of intermediate tyres, try and suit the conditions. But as you're about to see here, the Inters aren't suiting the conditions here. This storm, or whatever is coming over the circuit, has hit hard as we just understeer completely wide at turn 1. We have no temperature in the tyres, so we have to go back to the pits, losing us more time, and instead of put a set of the wet tyres on. As here we're trying to start our one run here. We've got less than 4 minutes left on the track, so we can't afford any mistakes. Also worth noticing, none of the AI cars have actually started a lap yet, but we make a massive mistake. We understeer into the wall, and that's our front wing pretty much gone. Look at the understeer, horrific. I can't finish that lap. So we had to go into the back into the garage and go back out. We have literally less than 30 seconds left of the session remaining. So we've got to try and set a lap now with no mistakes, otherwise we knocked out in Q2, which would be pretty embarrassing, especially as I aim to do well. But it's worth noting, only a couple of cars have actually set a time yet. I mean, I think every car's on track, because it's seen by the minimap. But if there's any cars that caught out, this could be real great for us. It could definitely mix up the grid a real treat. But unfortunately, it hasn't affected Hamilton's time. It is top of the session, and we set a fairly okay lap. It's fairly clean and tidy. But what's it going to be? It's going to be cute. It's going to be P2. That's good enough. and P2 behind Hamilton. I think Hulkenberg I saw there was in third position. And when you look at that, a lot of the cars didn't set a time. Jeez, Nico Rosberg is a lucky boy. Bloody hell, and Kvyat. But not so lucky are the two Ferraris and our teammate Bottas. So this is definitely shaking up the grid a treat. The only people who really have to verse in this Q3 session, are the two Mercedes, as Rosberg just scraping through somehow. Very lucky. I don't know what determined the grid order from 9th below, but Rosberg very lucky to get through there. As that was our first run in Q3, and we set a purple lap time, but we're not content with that. We're going to try and go even quicker, as I think we slightly cut the corner to one. I apologise about that, but the rest of the lap was very clean. As you can see, going through that chicane there, very notorious place for corner cutting. We went very cleanly through there, and current out the final chicane. We're still on top. Hamilton is P2, Kvyat P3, and we go even quicker on a 1:13.7. And I think that should be comfortable enough for us to get pole position for this track as we go into the garage there. But we're actually going to retire from the session. And look at that, pole position. We're on pole by 7/10 of a second. So the AI once again showing that they do sandbag in a qualifying session. Hamilton is alongside us on the front row, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge, especially at the start, for the race. And Rosberg, I think, was down in 6th place or something like that. So Rosberg's struggling, by the looks of things. So it should be definitely an interesting race. Now, go into it. Now, here we are on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're going to take a look at the strategy now, which is going to be a one-stop strategy the team have predicted for us. So hopefully a tyre wear won't be too bad. We can actually meet that. Maybe there might be some weather playing a factor, I don't know. But we've got the 5 lights cut on now. We need a good start. We need to get away, jump Hamilton at the start. Or not jump, but stay ahead of him. And lights are on, away we go, and Hamilton's already got the jump in this, has got ahead of us, and we're going to try and dive down the inside into turn 1, we lock up, but we give Hamilton room on the inside now for turn 2, we bang wheels a little bit, but it's okay, we're still going side by side towards the chicane of turn 3 and 4, we're going to hold around the outside of Hamilton, who cut the corner actually there, and lost a lot of speed, but we're now ahead of him. Hamilton kept P2 ahead of Kvyat and the others behind, and we're now just going to try and extend the lead ahead as Hamilton's going to be right all over a tail. There he is. It got very good traction out of that chicane there. We be backside of it, obviously not an overtaking place, but we're just trying to get ahead of him now as we make slight contact with the wall there. Hamilton's all over our rear end, so Hamilton looking very feisty, especially in race trim, as the AI definitely step up for the race compared to qualifying I've found so far. Just bleed to the end of lap 1. Sorry if my voice is a bit dry. I've eaten a lot of M&M's at the moment from my Easter stuff, but yeah. Anyway, completing lap 1, we seem to have good straight line speed over Hamilton so far, as he couldn't get past us on the straight. So we go through the last chicane into a bunny hopping chicane. He actually pulled out a bit of a gap from Hamilton there, as I think we went quite aggressively over the curbs. But here we are, moving on to lap 3, and we all know what that means. It means DRS is activated, and Hamilton would have a much better run on us, going towards the final chicane. It's going to go down our outside, and he completely runs wide and loses a hell of a lot of time. That's about, what, 5 seconds now pulled out on him. But Hamilton, he just outbroke himself. I didn't touch him, I left him plenty enough room. And I don't know what he's thinking, because there's 2 guys going side by side there. And me and Hamilton have actually pulled a massive gap on the cars behind. I think Kvyat and Hulkenberg and Rosberg just behind him. And in fact, by lap 7, Rosberg has got past the other 2 cars. And that's Hamilton going round and round outside of the hairpin. He got very good traction out of the chicane beforehand, and he's holding around the outside. Better traction for the Mercedes. I have to admit, this Williams is not that great on traction. But it is good in straight line speed, as Hamilton has DRS, but we're still going to get better straight line speed, and we're going to get the move around the outside of the hairpin, made it stick. We didn't even cut the corner for the chicane either, so that was pretty good. Very nice and clean, as Hamilton is not going to manage to get past us there. But come by lap 8, he's going to have another attempt. And this time, well, once again, he just breaks himself into the chicane and loses a hell of a lot of time. And once again, we have to look at a replay of that to make sure I did not squeeze him out or anything like that. And I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, he can't go side by side through the chicane there, mate. I mean, come on. as he just runs out wide. Bunny hops over the second curb there, and that's allowed Rosberg, who's caught up to the back of us now quite a bit, to get a massive run up into turn 1. He's got the inside lines. There's Rosberg going to hold it. They're going to side by side, but Hamilton actually has the racing line at this point, and is he going to? Yeah, he's just going to run Rosberg out of room. So they've got Hamilton's driving there, bang on. This is a couple of laps later, the Mercedes are still battling, and this is a replay of Hamilton on the outside, and he smacks into the wall of champions, but somehow keeps it going. I'm not sure how, but lap 11, I decided that my tyre wear was getting too bad. After the Mercedes stopped battling, they started to catch me again. Rosberg in the lead of that battle there, and I just couldn't meet it. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do a 2-stop strategy for this race. I hope the other AI cars can do the same. If not, then I just have better pace at the end of my option tyres. I would be, assuming there's no rain or anything like that. They're going to come back out on track in P6 as the other cars ahead haven't pitted yet, including the Ferraris of Vettel, who I'm now behind. So now going to lap 13, we've got Vettel ahead. Now it's Hamilton, and we're going through the chicane there. You can just about see Mercedes parked across the track. Was that Lewis Hamilton? Was that the championship leader parked across the track? We're going to have a look at the replay, the cinematic vision, see which Mercedes was definitely across the track, because there definitely was one there. And I bet he's retired from the race. This is Lewis Hamilton, and he's just completely outbreak himself. It looks like he got a brake failure and smacks into the wall and ends up facing the wrong way on the track, luckily off the racing line, so no other cars smacked into him. But that means Lewis Hamilton's now retired from this race. So all we need to do now is maximise the points to them, and because every point we get now is going to decrease the gap to the top of the championship. So that's all good news for us, really. So now maintaining the lead over Rosberg as the rest of the guys pitted there. But Rosberg's going to have a much better tyre advantage now going to lap 17. But something I might save our bacon is the fact that rain is arriving in 10 minutes time. So that means 1-stop, 2-stop strategies, they'll be neutralised once the rain comes. And my problems can easily last until the rain comes. It actually was only about 3 laps after that team radio came. So I think the engineers are a little bit off of timing there. As by lap 21, the primes are already losing grip as it goes massively wide at the hairpin. The rain came on very quickly, which is surprising seeing as Canada is such a short lap as well. Unlike Spa, like say Spa or whatever, the track's really long and can have like rain on one part of the circuit and dry the other. But that's Rosberg right over the back of us now, as we have to go in the pit lane for a set of intermediate tyres as they follow the man in. And I bet with this rain like falling heavier and heavier, it's going to be a set of wet tyres some point soon as well. Just a question of when that'll be. As they're putting a set of inters on, as we managed to stay ahead of Rosberg, which is good. Good job, Williams, pit crew, and ahead of the Manor, so it doesn't hold us up as well. So that's all good. And lap 22. We're losing grip once again on the intermediate tyres. We just get a load of understeer at the hairpin. That's Rosberg side by side of us, as he's got much better grip in these conditions. I'm not sure how. Is he going to try and attempt a move on us? We're weaving slightly to try and block him off. But are we going into the pit lane for a set of wet tyres there? No, I think we actually stay out. And that was my mistake, because Rosberg has dived into the pits for a set of wet tyres, and I just slightly misjudged it. That's only 1 lap as well since making the pit stop. So I actually did 2 laps on the intermediate tyres, going the end of lap 22, start lap 23 for the wet tyres. And has Rosberg managed to jump us? That lap going to the pit lane wasn't too bad. At the end of it, I think it was losing a bit of grip. That's Rosberg now ahead of us. We get a little bit wheel spin into the wall, and now we're going to be on the outside of turn 2, and we completely lock up, going onto the grass, and we've bottleberged it pretty much. Rosberg has now got the lead of this race, legitimately as well, as we're now both in the same tyre compound, and I don't think this rain will ease for a while by the looks of things. So we're now going to try and catch him and pass him on track, and that is tough to do, as we've got Stevens there who's being lapped. But for most of that stint, it would literally just remain about a 1-2 second gap. I tried my best to catch him, but I don't know how Rosberg was just supreme in these conditions. So, see, we're pushing like hell. We're going so wide there just to try and get like cover as much of the track as possible. But Rosberg is keeping a good gap as we lock up with the hairpin once again. But come lap 31, the team are calling on the radio saying that intermediate's now the favourable tyre. Rosberg has just gone into the pit lane for his set of inters. But we're going to do an alternate strategy. We're going to stay out on our wet tyres, as I still think it's wet enough for the wets to prevail at the moment. There's still quite a bit of standing water on the track. But we've set intermediate tyres anyway in case we change our minds. Coming to the end of lap 32, the grip is definitely diminishing now. As again, a whole load of wheel spin. Look at that. Coming out of the hairpin. The traction just isn't there. And Rosberg is closing down the gap rapidly. Is now 10 seconds behind. And over the next lap is going to be catching even more. But we can't go in now, otherwise we will lose a heap of time to Rosberg. So we're going to try and stay out and maybe get the transition to dry tyres. Or stay on these wet tyres till the end of the race, which is only 3 laps away now. I mean, can we do it? Can we still beat Rosberg in this race? The gap back to Raikkonen is pretty big, so it's only going to be a 2-horse race now. Can we do it? As you can see the grip there, we're getting a whole load of wheel spin on the traction from turn 2. It's a very, very difficult conditions here. As now lap 34, only got 1 lap left of this Grand Prix, and Rosberg is still behind us as he has actually gone into the pits for a set of dry tyres at the end of lap 33, and we didn't notice, unfortunately. And that means we're going to have to hang it out to the end of the race. We've got 1 lap left to go. Can we do it, guys? Can we win this race? It's going to be very tricky for this final lap to keep it on the road and keep it out of the wall. Especially, remember, we don't have any flashbacks or anything. We don't have any second chances. If we step it up like we're doing qualifying, that's it. And look at the gap. The gap is 8 seconds to Rosberg behind. So we've got to make sure he doesn't get it. But I think it looks like a few back markers behind me who are going to be on dry tyres. We have no grip going for the corner. You have to ease up. And that's McLaren and Button who goes round our outside. We're now going side by side with Jenson Button, who's got better traction. Well, much better traction, but being a lap car, he can't get in front of us. So now he's going to try. I don't know why the lap cars do this. They get in front and then they just change their mind and back out of it and just lose me a heap more time. But Rosberg is catching up to the back of this. While this is happening, we're switching to the Cinematic division there. And that's Rosberg right behind us, is going up the inside of the McLaren and up the inside of me. I have nothing to answer for, really. He brakes so much later than I could do. And I can't beat him on traction as we just about tangle with Button. So lucky to not get side pod glitch or anything like that. I bounced into the wall there. But unfortunately we've lost P1 in this race. That's yeah, pretty sad really. We were in contention for the win a lot during that race, and we took a risky strategy and unfortunately didn't pay off. I mean, gotta risk it for a biscuit sometimes, guys, but we come across the line now. For P2, it's still a good race nonetheless. Very comfortable P2 really, because there's really no threat from behind. But that's a solid 18 points going towards the championship. 18 points over Lewis Hamilton. So it's not all bad news really. A bit disappointed we didn't get the win in the end, but well, we risked it, and sometimes some risks don't pay off. So that's just the way it is in life. But still, second place is solid, as I said, as Kimi Raikkonen also joining us on the podium there. We have Nico Rosberg, the worthy racer now, so good on him. Yeah, so it's a good race, guys. Next race, the Austrian Grand Prix, will be out soon. I've also recorded that, it's also a good race. But now looking at the standings, I'm sorry, not standings, the race results, as Rosberg won ahead of myself, Kimi Raikkonen, Bottas, Vettel. I love seeing all the rest of the drivers finishing on options there, and I was the only one on wets. Looks a bit funny, but Lewis Hamilton, of course, didn't finish. That's good news for us in the championship standings, as we're going to still try and win this championship. As I'll take a look at the standings now, actually, as it's still in 4th place, but we've now closed, I think, about 26 points behind him now, so it's not too bad. We could definitely, about 36 points behind. So it's not too bad. If we have a solid result in Austria, we can definitely claw back some points in the championship and still remain in this championship hunt. And Austria will be a good race, so please tune in for that as well. That should be out in a couple of days. I want to smash through this career mode, get it over and done with, before F1 2016 comes out. So I'll see you guys then for my next episode of the series. See you then. Palms out.